Hi, and welcome to our show. My name is Irene.
And I'm Michelle.
And we are Bad Ass Besties. Our show has been put together recently, in fact, to kind of go over a lot of the things that we talk about when we're out on our crazy walks. Michelle and I are best friends, and what we like to do when we socialize is walk, right? We don't, very rarely do we sit at a coffee shop unless we're out shopping all day. And when we are shopping all day, we're constantly talking about things, just various things. And so we put together this show to kind of extend our information and our knowledge on some of the things that we're talking about. I'm a functional nutritionist, and Michelle?
I'm a race director.
So we're very health conscious, we're very health intuitive, and a lot of our topics encompass beauty and skincare and life in general, relationships, nutrition, exercise, running, business, right? Networking. And so today's show is going to be one that is definitely long overdue, although this is only our third show, but long overdue in the sense of me really having a formal time to talk about menopause. This is the time in our life that many women don't know what to expect, and when we get there, some women sail through it effortlessly. I know, Michelle, your story is you really didn't get hit hard with menopause.
Well, there was, at the very beginning I did, and I really didn't know what it was.
That is exactly the point, is women start feeling not like themselves. In fact, I just got a text message from somebody thanking me for having her feel like her old self. You know, that feeling of us just sort of dissipates, and it's a result of declining hormones. As a functional nutritionist, one of the things that I do is I work with women that are struggling with their weight, struggling with relationships, with food, struggling with exercise. And now, as a functional nutritionist, I do run labs, so I'm able to see the hormone and the hormone imbalances in women. And as somebody that is of that age myself, one of the things that bothers me the most is what you are all seeing on the social media platform. You know, the buzz on the street for what menopause is and what to do about it is maddening from somebody that has studied it from a medical lens. And the menopause itself is difficult, and the reason for it is we start losing our hormones. And I do want to talk a little bit about that today because we don't understand what causes it. Many of you might know this, but I used to teach fifth grade. And when I taught fifth grade, one of the things that I had to teach in the spring was human growth and development. So I was the teacher that had to talk about body parts to my students. I had to talk about that first period and what happens in our body when that first period happens. And here I sit, 30 years later, doing the same thing.
Well, it's good that you are, because I feel like when you go that I knew something was wrong with me, and so I made a doctor's appointment, and I'm like, something's not right. Like I was fit and running, and I was doing all the same things I had always been doing, but I'm like, I can't run very fast. Like I'm
knew
slower.
Something was off.
And they're like, and I'm like, and it's not because of my training. I know how to train. Like something's not right, and I'm gaining weight, and I'm telling my friends, I'm like, I'm gaining weight. These don't fit me right, but I'm eating the same stuff as I was. And people would be like, you look fine. And it's like, well, I'm not me. It's not normal. Something's not right. And the doctors, and then my period got really heavy. And they're like, well, periods are weird. I'm like, I'm 50 years or 40 years old or whatever it was. And I'm like, I know what a period is. This is not what it has been. And so I kind of feel like, and I went to a couple doctors.
And this is common. Yeah, and I hear that all the time where, you go to your regular doctor, then you go to your gynecologist, and, they tell you that your labs are normal. And I want to explain, exactly what that means, and I really want to explain what happens in our bodies to cause this. But then the most important piece that needs to be discussed today is, what do you do about it?
Yeah.
Right? Because back to the resources that I just talked about on the internet, everybody's trying to make money. Everybody's trying to make money. And so you're going to see all these companies that are going to talk you into these labs that you don't need, supplements that you may not need, hormone replacement therapy that you may not need. And it really boils down to what you design your protocol for. And that's what I do.
Okay.
I design specific protocols for women to encompass these imbalances. But back to the hormones and what happens in our body, there's a pituitary gland in our brain. And so if you point your finger right on your forehead and then on the crown of your head, where those fingers would meet is where your pituitary gland is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That is a gland that initially, when we go into puberty, turns on. It stays idle, asleep until, for girls that 10 to 13, for boys it could be 13 to even 16. And once that turns on, basically what it's doing is sending messages to your hypothalamus, which is another gland in your brain, to release hormones. Okay? We don't release these hormones until we go into puberty. So from puberty up until menopause, and I'm going to define what perimenopause is, what menopause is, and then what postmenopause is, but up until menopause, which by definition is once you have not had a period for 12 consistent months.
Okay.
And like you said earlier, your period starts to get a little weird. You might skip a couple months, might be heavy, might be light, but until you have not seen a period for 12 months, you are not considered in menopause. Okay? So from puberty to menopause, these are our hormone years. This is when our hormones are at their greatest, at their peak. In fact, they peak out at age 30 to 35.
Okay.
Once we get to 35, our hormone production isn't as rapid, but it's still very elevated. Okay. This is when we're most fertile for women. This is when our eggs are so ripe and perfect and ready to go. And when we make ripe and perfect eggs, again, that pituitary gland is going to release messages to kick out hormones that are going to make that egg drop so that we can get pregnant. And that is the hope every month from the standpoint of what a human body has been put on this earth to do, right, is to conceive. And so not that we want that each month, but that estrogen and that progesterone are at their peak when that egg drops. And that replenishes our body with all the things that we need. It helps us reduce inflammation. It helps keep our blood sugar regulated. It helps with our bones. It helps with our muscles. It helps with our energy, our hair, our nails. And if you think about it, when we're in our 20s and our 30s, that's when our lashes are the curliest, right? That's when our hair is the most plush. Again, this goes right back to that reproducting. We have to look our prettiest during those years of mating. And so regardless, that's when we feel our best. So what happens then as we age and we go into midlife is that pituitary gland now is sending messages saying, all right, this lady shouldn't be getting pregnant anymore, right? We don't need those eggs to drop anymore. And so the estrogen starts diminishing. The progesterone starts diminishing. With those two diminishing, automatically the testosterone is going to diminish. And so now we lose all these hormones and we feel it. We start getting anxious. We start having repetitive thoughts. It disrupts our sleep. That progesterone is so important for our sleep. The estrogen, there goes our hair, there goes our nails, there goes our lashes, there goes our muscles with the testosterone. And that's why we rapidly lose muscle once we go into those perimenopausal years. So when is perimenopause? Well, that can start 10 years before menopause.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is your estrogen, instead of spiking all the way to here, might only spike to here. Enough to release that egg, but not enough to keep you feeling as vibrant as you once did.
Like yourself.
Exactly. So less estrogen, less testosterone, less progesterone, and that keeps diminishing until then you no longer are getting a period. Okay, that no longer getting a period is wonderful. I mean, let's face it, right? It's freedom, but that also means that you're no longer making that estrogen, and that is not so fun.
Okay.
Okay. You are still making estrogen, but you're not making it from your reproductive organs, and those are the years where we feel our best. Okay. So that's the whole anatomy of it. Okay. Now, what happens during that perimenopause, menopause? We just said you're no longer making those estrogens. Your body is starting to crumble, right? You're starting to feel it. You feel like you're aging, like in this rapid speed. Your body's inflamed. Your blood sugar is not regulated. Those are the two reasons why women gain weight during perimenopause.
Okay.
Inflammation, blood sugar dysregulation.
Okay.
Now, the beauty of this is you can fix those two things with diet and exercise, right? And so those of you that are listening that are like, God, menopause really wasn't bad for me, I assure you, those are the healthy ladies.
Okay.
Those are the ones that just have always lived a healthy lifestyle. The ones that don't watch their diet, haven't watched their diet, haven't watched their exercise, they skated through because of those hormones, keeping their inflammation down, keeping their blood sugar regulated, and now it's gone. So that's why all of a sudden they're up 10 pounds and they can't lose it. They don't know why. When I help my gals who are weight resistant because of menopause, the very first two things I tackle are inflammation, blood sugar regulation, and blood sugar regulation is diet.
Okay.
Yeah. So Michelle, you are a healthy person. You actually lost 50 pounds during menopause. Wouldn't you say it was during menopause?
Yeah, it would be during menopause.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
So, as people come to me day in and day out and have been for 30 years, I want to lose weight, I can't do it. It's because of my hormones. Then there's you who lost it despite the fact that you were in menopause.
Yeah, a lot of my diet did come down to regulating my blood sugar and choosing a diet that didn't spike my blood sugar and very natural. And I mean, like, food is medicine. Like, it works like magic, like your mom's food.
My mom has magic food. She'll
really
probably bring
does.
something today.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I always bring her my mom's foods.
Yeah.
But speaking of my mom,
Yeah.
my mom is 76 years old.
Yeah.
She walks 10 miles a day.
I was telling my husband, so she's 76 years old and
She's
10 miles,
76.
and like really,
Yes.
she walks 10
Yes,
miles.
not
a
at
day.
once.
Yeah.
Not at once. She's gardening all day. And it's interesting because she's from Greece, and so she only cooks Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And that Mediterranean diet is really what I preach. The whole foods, as limited, prepackaged things as possible. And that is how you lost your weight.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, yeah. Just learning what vegetables I like, what proteins I like, where I got my carbs at, and then just finding ways to make that really simple, not like super high, lots of oils, all natural oils.
Yeah, natural oils,
like
yeah.
olive oil and avocado oil were the two I used. And I mean, it's not hard once you get into the habit of that.
And here's the other piece. If you're suffering because your mood is off, and now that's impacting your marriage, and you're anxious, so it's impacting your entire life, and you can't lose weight, which is impacting so much of your everyday.
Yeah.
Eating healthy tastes good.
Yeah.
And it gets you to a place where you feel good and look good.
Yeah, I've been overweight and at healthy weights, back and forth. This time it'll stick because I really learned the habit, or I set good habits for myself where I know to eat real natural food and just not to go off. But it just makes you feel better to be like your energy's higher. And I remember when I started it, I was like starting to run again, and like as soon as I really got into the habit, all of a sudden I'm like running 5 miles at a time and just feeling better
Yep.
on every single
Yep.
run. But before that, I had to do like run walks. But once that food just got working in my body, like I started to feel normal and like myself again.
Yeah. So I'm going to use that as a learning point for our listeners, because I've done so many seminars, I've done so many webinars where I talk about menopause and what to do, what's the magic behind getting yourself to feel better without medical intervention. Okay. We're going to use that example. You were running, you were walking, you were moving your body, you were eating healthy. I know you always prioritize sleep. You're extremely busy woman, but sleep happens. It may not happen when you're doing your 30-hour races, but you always recover, which is so important. So those things, those practices, when we do those things, it allows our body to make growth hormone. Okay, so we just talked about the hormones that come from your ovaries, but we also are able to make hormones, and our bodies make hormones from other glands in our system.
Okay.
And so your estrogen is no longer coming from your ovaries. Those have been shut down, factory closed.
Yeah.
But every time you ate healthy, every time you went outside, expose yourself to the outdoors, every time, trail running is huge, forest bathing is what they call it. It releases those endorphins, which allows your body to make hormones. And so now those hormones convert into various other hormones. And two of them that they convert into is estrogen and testosterone.
Okay.
So that was your hormone replacement therapy, and you didn't even know it. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so that is the point that I want to drive is if you aren't feeling good and you want to go back to feeling yourself and you're not able to lose weight, prioritize your health.
Yeah.
Prioritize that diet, prioritize that sleep, prioritize your rest, your exercise, all of those things, and it will allow your body, your system to naturally make these hormones on their own. Lifting weights, lifting heavy weights boosts your natural testosterone.
Okay.
Right. So when you're doing these things, you're not just doing them for the aesthetics. You're not just, going running or lifting weights or whatever it is to look good. Of course, that's always in the back of our mind, but you're replenishing those hormones that your body no longer makes, which is fantastic.
What is considered heavy weights?
Heavy is, so as a trainer, when I ask people to lift heavy, I typically will tell them to lift a weight where they're doing 8 to 12 reps.
Okay.
Somewhere between there. So let's just say you're going to do 8. On the 8th one, you want to be like really pushing it.
Okay.
That's heavy.
Okay.
Yeah. That is going to uptick your hormone production.
Okay.
The other big one that I've left out is cortisol.
Okay.
It's a buzzword. Everybody hears it. Everybody says, oh, my cortisol is so high, and that's why I can't lose weight. Cortisol works hand in hand with growth hormone. Our adrenal glands, which are located on our kidneys, they have one purpose, well, two. One is to make cortisol, which we actually need. We need cortisol. We just shouldn't have too much of it. The other one is to make growth hormone. Okay, so that's what they're doing all day long. If you are stressed all the time, if you aren't sleeping, if your life is just constant chaos, you're not taking time to breathe, then all you're making from your adrenals is cortisol. Your adrenals are not going to have time to make that growth hormone.
Okay.
And remember that growth hormone is our only way to get estrogen now.
Okay.
Right? So that's why stress reduction is so important. And when we exercise, it's stress reduction, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so the principle of diet with rest, with exercise, with stress reduction, with sleep, that's the magic. Now, I'm going to take a second here to talk about HRT, which is hormonal replacement therapy.
Okay.
That's also something that's buzzing everywhere. I am not against hormone replacement therapy as a functional nutritionist. However, it is not perfectly holistic. Okay, I'm just being honest that they're made in a lab, and if you're somebody that wants full natural, HRT does contain pharmaceutical. Okay.
And is it something that you would have to be on then the rest of your life?
More than likely.
Okay.
Now, there's all different types of HRT. There's estrogen cream, there's estrogen patches, testosterone cream, testosterone pellets, or injectable testosterone, progesterone cream, oral progesterone, and they are all extremely different.
Okay.
And when
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I know the research. I've studied the research behind which one works best for perimenopausal women versus postmenopausal women.
Okay.
And I'm finding women just aren't being told this.
Yeah.
So, they're buying the cream that their best friend's cousin tried and loved it. And sometimes estrogen cream, in fact, estrogen cream is not the best method.
Okay.
The patch is truly the best method.
Okay.
Testosterone, again, I just had somebody tell me she's on testosterone cream and hasn't felt any different. Again, sometimes it's not bioavailable. But the biggest catalyst to this is you can be on HRT. You can be on the HRT that's just right for you. And I run labs of women that are on HRT, and I still see that their hormones are not where they need to be. And the reason for that is oftentimes people treat HRT as a Band-Aid. I don't feel good, I'm going to slap it on, and things are going to be better. But your body still will not make those hormones without the diet, the rest, the exercise, the stress reduction, and the sleep. You can take the HRT, but I'm seeing these labs come in of women that aren't paying attention to those lifestyle factors, and that's why they still feel like garbage. So if you're going to go that route, then you absolutely should follow the health protocol. And still, it sounds like a death sentence to some women, like, oh my God, you're telling me I have to exercise and eat good for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Well, how long do you want to live? That's the other piece. You're only going to live longer by taking out all the fried food, by moving your body. This is, in a sense, a gift to force people into being healthier.
Yeah.
It's Mother Nature's way of getting women to finally take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Because from puberty on, or from motherhood on, I should say, we don't.
Yeah.
We're running ragged, taking care of our kids, and we can get away with, the skipping of the meals then and not exercising. But as we age, it's a non-negotiable.
And the part about, where they're saying, oh my gosh, I have to eat healthy. I eat the best, most yummiest meals when I'm eating healthy. Like, once you make that habit change, food is delicious.
Yes.
And I eat more than I did before.
Exactly. People can't believe the amount of food I put down.
Yeah.
But none of it is unhealtty. I mean,
I've seen it.
Yeah.
She really does.
I do.
Yeah, like your 800
My
calorie breakfast.
I have an 800 calorie shake every day.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing it's got in there is protein, a banana, some peanut butter, and whole milk.
Yeah.
And there's nothing bad in there about it. I have to fuel my body.
Yeah.
Because if I don't fuel my body, then I start slipping, right? And I didn't take a minute to talk about myself. I feel like I sailed through menopause because I didn't really gain weight, and I didn't have those issues because I'm so active and I've always eaten well. But I really felt it in my sleep, my anxiety. I'll never forget the first school year that my husband and daughter, started school that first day, where normally I'm like dancing around the house, and I was anxious. Like, I didn't like it. I didn't want it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? These are the days I've wished for, to be able to just, call my best friend up and go shopping all day, and I just didn't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
And so it impacted me. And it was as a result of I was grinding. I was building my business. I was sleeping 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
I was answering text messages round the clock, Sundays, I mean, I should not have been doing that.
Yeah.
And all of the running, and my body just was like, stop.
Yeah.
And
Mother Nature
yeah,
going,
there
it's
it
time to
was.
take care of yourself.
Yeah, right.
Even though you were doing a really good job taking care of yourself, eating right,
Right.
and exercising, but you were just overdoing
I was
some
overdoing it.
things
Yeah.
and not prioritizing sleep, which I think is a big one. Like that. What do you get any suggestions of? Because it can be really hard to add. I actually felt like prioritizing sleep was harder than getting good food.
Yeah, yeah. We will absolutely do an episode on this.
Okay.
There's so many sleep practices that are important. In fact, I'm going to use this to springboard into supplements.
Okay.
But the sleep hygiene is huge. And I hear this all the time from women. Well, you know, my dog sleeps with me, my husband snores, my husband keeps the TV on, you know, I work nights, I train firefighters, as many of you know, and they have the worst sleep schedules ever.
Yeah.
And you take your situation and you make something with it, right? And there's always a way. And that's what we'll go over when we do our separate show. But you have to prioritize it like it is your baby.
Yeah.
Like it is your child that you just brought home from the hospital. It is your priority, right? Get the earplugs, shut the TV off. Alcohol's a big one. You know, we think that alcohol relaxes us and it causes us to fall asleep. That sleep that you get after even just one glass of wine is not deep. It's not deep.
Yeah.
And that's where the hormones are produced when we go into deep sleep. And I see this all the time when I run labs. She says she's getting 8 hours. Her data on her watch says 8 hours. I start digging at the data and her deep sleep's 20 minutes. And it's horrible. And I've corrected so many deep sleep issues just from providing little tips. But it's dedication too, you know? But with that said, there are supplements that can help.
Okay.
And that's where the supplement piece can be a game changer for women in perimenopause and menopause. As a functional nutritionist, I'm a big fan of supplements. I take them on the clock. In fact, I don't know if you noticed, I just took them because I forgot to take them this morning.
Okay.
The supplements that I really promote are the ones that let your body go into that relaxed mode.
Okay.
To allow you to sleep.
Okay.
Not just that, but also supplements that help your adrenals fight that cortisol and allow you to make those hormones. Okay, so things that I take are ashwagandha is one of them, rhodiola root is another one, holy basil. These are herbs that let your body relax. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's not the same kind of relax as a glass of wine, right? It takes a couple weeks for them to kick in, and you don't feel them, but suddenly you don't feel as stressed as often, and they relax your receptors to allow your body to do what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
As far as sleep goes, GABA is a great one that allows your brain again to go into that relaxed mode once you're asleep. So the GABA itself doesn't make you fall asleep, but it lets your body relax and go into that stage 3 sleep. And I see this when I look at people's Garmin reports. I had one gal that was consistently at like 23 minutes, 22 minutes, 19 minutes of deep sleep. After about a month on GABA, now she's like hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? And so what happens now is that sleep, well, she feels great. She wakes up feeling refreshed. If you wake up and you don't feel refreshed, then you did not go into deep sleep.
Okay.
That is the key indicator. If you wake up and you want to lay back down, or you need coffee to get you going, you're deep sleep suffering somewhere.
Okay.
But regardless, not only did she deep sleep, but now she's making the estrogen because she's making the growth hormone. And in fact, she's the one that thanked me for helping her feel normal.
Yeah.
Because we corrected her sleep.
Yeah.
And she was legit sleeping 8 hours a night, but it was not the right sleep.
Yeah.
She also learned that, hey, if I'm going to have a glass of wine, I'm going to pay the piper.
Yeah.
I'm going to wake up tomorrow, my deep sleep score is going to be in the toilet. I'm not going to feel refreshed. But, you know, you also have to live your life, right?
Yeah.
You know, if it's something that you're worth doing for an occasion, if you're doing it every night, then
yeah.
And then there's a whole plethora of other supplements that are just good for various different deficiencies,
Yeah.
right? Different imbalances. There are estrogen creams. There's progesterone creams that are made out of yams, so they're completely holistic. And this is what our ancestors did. You know, before there was actual supplements,
Yeah.
our ancestors ate holy basil to
Yeah.
feel better.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't. And so
Yeah.
instead we can take these supplements. But on that note, I do want to caution that approximately 80% of the supplements that you find on the shelves are either out of date or not made with the right products and are labeled that. Anytime you see proprietary blend, run.
Okay.
That means we don't have to tell you what's in here.
Okay.
Okay. So all my supplement support comes from an actual supplement dispensary. They get their product directly from the manufacturer. And even with something like magnesium glycinate, that's another big one for sleep. You know, yeah, you can go to Walgreens and get it, but is the quality there? Ashwagandha is a big one. There are manufacturers that will grind up the roots of the ashwagandha plant, put them in bottles, sell it as ashwagandha, because it is. But the viable part of the ashwagandha that helps us is in the leaf.
Oh, wow.
And they're not lying to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do you see how important it is?
Yeah.
And anyone that's listening, you know, hop on my website. I have all of the top picks from the supplement dispensary on there, or reach out to me over social media.
What's your website?
My website is www.getyoufitrecipes.com.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And go check out all of our recipes
Yes,
too.
that too.
I pull into the grocery store parking lot all the time and go, I'm thinking chicken. Let's look at Irene's ideas right now.
Yeah, it is fun. It's fun to do that. So regardless, back to the menopause thing, the biggest message that I want to share here is live a healthy lifestyle. Live a healthy lifestyle. Get the support that you need from a qualified person. And again, anyone listening, I do run functional labs. And this is what I love to do. I love seeing the data, and I'm a health detective.
Yeah.
You know,
I love
that's
that.
a little low, that's a little high. This could be fixed by doing this.
Yeah.
And I call myself a detective because, again, Susie said she sleeps 8 hours.
Yeah.
Susie goes to the doctor. Doctor says, oh, I sleep 8 hours. I dig at it. 8 hours isn't enough.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Well, it is, but it's not enough if you're not getting deep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're not, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I help fix it. And these resources are available everywhere. So instead of going for the quick fix, instead of following that influencer that has no idea what they're talking about, look at the credentials of people, because this is your health. And and the other biggest piece about this is, I don't like seeing women invest all this time and money in a product that is just going to get them nowhere.
Yeah.
Because then you're right back at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all really great advice.
Yeah.
And I know that I've seen you watch or help a lot of women and help me. I'm not asking for any free advice. I get it on accident.
She does, whether she likes it or not. Like yesterday, I slipped in a text message. You need to eat more.
I could not even believe it. It was
you didn't
so.
think it was rude, did you?
Oh no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
But it was so funny because I've done it. Like I don't even know why I told you, but I skipped breakfast, and then it was like 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm like, I'm too busy to eat.
Yeah.
And because I had to get,
But
I had
that's
to be
what
ready.
we all do.
And I know better. You're not
Yeah.
too busy to eat. I should have made a shake or something.
Yeah.
But 2:30 in the afternoon, I am starving.
Yeah.
I just went to the grocery store. I bought food. I make the food. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and my serving was big. I'm like, well, I'll just eat half of it.
Yeah.
No, I ate all
All
of
of
it,
it.
and then my stomach hurt.
Yeah, I forgot she texted me that.
So then she's like, you need to eat breakfast. I'm like, oh, duh.
That's what best friends are for, right? Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope it was informational. Did you?
Yeah,
did you
that was really good. Very
good. I can talk all day long about it because
Yeah.
I do have a passion for it. You know, I'm turning 56 next month. It's my birthday month starting tomorrow. We can celebrate.
Oh my
all
God!
month.
Oh, I'm gonna be gone a lot of time.
Okay, we'll still celebrate.
Well, I'll celebrate
Still
for you.
celebrate. And you know, I think about that, and I think, gosh, where would I be if I hadn't become a healthy person?
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to ask myself that when I'm 80 and
Yeah.
beyond. You know, goodness, of all things that I decided to have a passion about.
Yeah, I want to be like your mom and walking 10 miles a
Yes,
day.
I want to be like my
and
mom,
planting
too.
flowers and watering them and making big batches of magic food.
Oh, magic. We should have her on the show one of these times.
We should.
All right, you guys. Well, hope you enjoyed our show.
Yeah.
Definitely like us on Insta. I am Get You Fit Nutrition.
And Michelle Hartwig runs, and then Glam and Grit.
Yep. Have a great day.
Thanks.